Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of Doing Blender with Morgan Osborne, and today I'm going to be showing you a video of how I made this little anime girl in Blender. Now, this anime girl is created is from a Nintendo franchise known as the Fire Emblem series, and I've recently played like it's sorry, I'm just as you can see from my behind the scenes, you can see me showing off some of my work before. But let's not read the showcase for today. We're going to be talking about this fan creation that I'm making involving Lucina from Fire Emblem. Now, as you can see, when creating this character, I have to first block out the body and, in this case, the head. Um, I don't usually, as you can, as you've seen from some other videos on YouTube, you can see that when doing some anime style characters, they would usually go through edit mode to create the freaking body meshes. But as for me, I go through sculpt mode and remesh from there. So as you can see, I'm kind of putting freaking some freaking legs, some freaking head. Um, you can kind of tell that this is my first time doing some commentary on a artwork I just did. Um, so please bear with me, as I don't really know how to do some background commentary for these kinds of videos. Let me know if there's something you guys want me to do more. But yeah, as you can see, it's been a long time since I've gone back into Blender. It's sorry, did I say that right? It's been a long time since I've used Blender, and I was in an indefinite break from Blender for quite a while, and I had no idea. I forgot some stuff, some features in Blender that might be useful for sculpting. So um, that's the reason why the blockout portion of this sculpt was kinda, you know, a little ugly in my opinion. I kind of took it took me a while to perfect the Lucina fire the Lucina mesh from this at the start. You can see that you can see that her legs look kind of off here for a second. But it does get kind of better as we move on to this freaking mesh. As for the blockout portion, as you can see, I create a separate mesh for the knees. I find that that's the optimum way of blocking out the legs. The more mesh you put, the more you're able to create those little lumps in the body, like your muscles, your elbows, and maybe even your knees. I'm kind of struggling here to create a knee like mesh. Sorry guys, my mom just messaged me while I was doing commentary. Yeah, the freaking Blender artist here is talking about his mom, freaking messaging him. Oh well. Anyways, this. Oh my god, am I? What am I doing in this clip? Oh my god. All right, so that was weird, but we're back in the club. Uh, I'm now doing the arms. I don't have anything to say here. God damn it, did I? Fuck. Alright. I forgot that I Okay, so this was part of a live stream I did in YouTube. So if you want to see this live, you can go check out my live section of my YouTube channel. Um, oh my god, this freaking loading screen's taking. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're back. We're doing some back to the knees. You can kind of tell that I'm kind of struggling with the knees. I'm for this block out of this character. I tried to make it look like a mannequin because I feel like the optimum base mesh for any character is I find to be a mannequin like a mannequin like body. So hence why I'm kind of going for separate meshes for my for the knees, but I guess for not for the elbows. I guess I just didn't find the elbows that prompts that the elbows needing a separate mesh. And oh my god, the hand! I remembered how freaking hard this is to freaking sculpt. And I guess that's the case for most of my humanoid creations. I realized that even back then I was having a hard time creating hands. But I guess that's a common a common trope for most artists having a hard time with creating hands both in 2D and 3D. I guess one mistake I did here was that I added I gave the fingers three cylindrical meshes, except for the thumb, I guess. And that kind of came off as a little bit weird at the start, but I was able to fix it in the end. Though I was only I only gave this mesh the each of the fingers like one joint to work with. So I never really gave each finger 3 bones. Yeah, look at this. I'm just having a hard time. While I was doing this, I was talking with a chatter on stream called Ouija. Was was able to accompany during these frustrating times when I when I'm having a hard time freaking sculpting this freaking hand. God damn it. So this hand. What else do I have to say with this hand? It can take a long time, as you can see. Um, and now I'm now freaking merging all of these meshes together because freaking sculpting freaking bodies they don't really come apart. No, we're all humans here. And so I merged everything except I merged everything except the hands and the body. And reason why I don't merge the body and the hands with the rest of the with the with the body is that I realized that I use more vertices in the hands and head compared to the body. So when merging them together, or when merging them together, it looks kind of off for some reason. So instead, I just decided to keep them separate, and even when I remesh them, as you can see in a little while, it's going to still stay separate. And the only thing that's keeping the separation hidden from the entire artwork was the color and the gloves of Lucina. So in this particular sculpt, I guess it did the character design of Lucina actually helped in hiding some imperfections in the scene. So right now I am making the hair. It's actually the first time I've actually took consideration with how the hair flows in the in the in the human in Lucina. If you can see from my previous artworks, you can kind of tell that I was half-assing the hair a bit, but in this one I decided to give some effort into making the hair. My old method of creating hair was that I just turned on the snapping tool from the top right of the viewport, and just sculpt and just snap the curves onto the head. But for this one, I didn't really solely rely on the snapping tool. As you can see, I also added like a quote unquote base hair, which is just a regular sphere with a added tool shader to it, and and then I used the snapping tool to snap each of the curves vertices into the base curve, the freaking hair base mesh. I can't speak English right now, and and then I manually adjust them without the snapping tool. And this all of the remeshing I did off stream because I thought that remeshing was kind of boring. But I'm pretty proud of this remesh. I think it's one of my one of the best ones I've made so far. One of the best remeshing. Oh, I didn't do remeshing. Fuck, I I made a mistake. This is this is the clothes of Lucina. I forgot. Although I think I've used this same mesh for a body. So as you can see here, I am manually adjusting the vertices so that it pops out from the body. I didn't create a separate mesh for her undergarments. Those black tights she wears underneath her dress. Because I feel like if I were to do so, I would have some clipping issues between her undergarments and her body. So I decided to just create, as you can see in a while, I'm going to be creating a separate material for her body. I just make her body like freaking dark. And as for the boots, I had no idea if her boots were one continuous object or that she's wearing high socks and her shoe and she's wearing shoes. So I decided just for the sake of animation and posing sake, I make her the shoe portion of her boots and the freaking sock portion of her boots separate objects. Now I'm now realizing that I'm reminded that for this freaking sculpt I had there wasn't like actually a reference sheet I persistently followed. I just looked up a 3D model of Lucina, which as you can see in the left right corner, and then I also looked up a reference sheet from the official developers, Intelligent Systems made. I don't think I don't think it'd be shown on stream right now. So yeah, I was using two references for this sculpt. And oh my god, this. Alright, so I'm now remeshing this thing. You can kind of see now that I start off with the fingers, then I work my way up to the wrist. The hand, I started remeshing the hand because I know that it would be the most complicated thing to remesh. That as you can see, the freaking palms. The palms, in my opinion, has contains too much vertices along with the back part of the hand. So I did a little I redirect. I kind of redirected the loops of this hand, and wait, god damn it, this is I think this is the gloves. God, I'm forgetting what I did in this thing. So yeah, I guess I'm doing the gloves here. Uh, I added a solidify modifier to make it a little bit thicker, and then I created the fold of her gloves. I don't think I made it too deep into her arm. Um, so that's that. And now we switch on to the next stream. I think the day after. Uh, it's another live stream, and I remember Guichi was there. We did some more remeshing, I guess. Not some more remeshing, some more clothing stuff. And I did the belt here, and the belt. God damn it, the belt! Oh my god. The one weakness I have with creating characters aside from hair is creating perfect loops that no, wait, not perfect loops, perfect ties, perfect knots. That's the word I'm looking for. You can see that I was trying to figure out how this belt wraps around this little ring in Lucina. So I decided to make the loop a separate object, the loop of that knot a separate object, a separate curve. Then I'll have the freaking ring, go inside the go inside the loop like so. You can kind of see that I was having a hard time getting this to look natural, and while doing so, I also decreased the resolution of the vertices because I want this to be animated. To make it animated, I had to make sure that I'm using as less vertices as possible. Anyways, I'm using Eevee for this and emission shaders. So the crookedness of the mesh won't really be seen from a distance, at least. And yeah, that's how I make the belt. And from here on, I added the strap. Same problem as before. I was having a hard time figuring out how this belt goes around Lucina. I don't think I had a proper back reference for this sculpt. So I kind of estimate how what's it called, the wrap, the strap goes around her back. Anyways, it's gonna be covered by a freaking cape anyway, so I don't really care what. I don't know if I really cared about what would happen on the backside of Lucina. Then here, what did I do here? Oh yeah, I added the ring. I call this an onion ring for some reason because I had no idea how these rings attach to each other. Are they attached to the belt, or are they just like free floating in Lucina's arsenal of belts? Now, as for what's it called, the straps of her belts, I decided to just use plain cubes because I was lazy, and I added one more over here on the front side. And the good thing about using curves is that I could also use that as the curve modifier for the straps of her belts. Am I even saying that? Am I even saying the parts of the belt correctly? Straps. But I have no idea how. look at the names of these of these clothing, Lucina. And now here I'm creating the falchion. I had no idea how to properly create this in edit mode, so I did the best I can to make the falchion. As you can see, I added a mirror modifier. The mirror modifier works to make sure that I have to only worry about one side of the mesh, and as you can see here, I've created the separate mesh for the blade. Now I pulled up a second reference sheet for the for the sword for the falchion, and I realized here that the 3D reference that I'm referencing, and the falchion that I pulled off of Google were completely different. Um, the Google the 2D falchion I noticed had more engravings, uh, and um, there's just some stuff to it that protrudes, whereas the falchion of the 3D reference was just kind of like was more flat in my opinion. So I did a kamehameha on these on these two swords, and what I got was like was a merging of these two designs, and yeah. Now, as you can see in a little while, I had a little trouble creating the hole that goes through the falchion. In a little while, I'm just I don't know how fast it's going, but so when creating the hole, I decided to do a boolean, but then I shortly realized that since I was using separate meshes for the sword, the walls of the hole didn't really go that smoothly. So as you can see here, I'm having trouble reconstructing the wall. So I decided to just make the wall a separate mesh. And this wall mesh is based on the cutting tool I use for booleaning the hole. I took the walls of that cutting of the mesh I used to cut the hole, and I inserted it along the sword. That's why you can sometimes see that if you look closely, the sword's the walls of the sword's hole sort of clips a bit, and that's because there were some vertices that were clipping through, and that's why it looks kind of weird in some angles. Now, as for the cape, I don't think I have anything to say about the cape. I was kind of worried about how I was going to animate the cape, because the cape is a cloth, and and I was wondering if I should use like a cloth simulation to recreate the wind passing through her cape. I decided to just go for some bones. For a scarf, I decided to fake some details. I use a curve and make the geometry of it a curve that's shaped like a bunch of staircases, and what comes out is this little curve that sort of represents a scarf per se, but in reality it's just one big mesh, one connected mesh. And here I decided to add some test materials to see how the shadows would look like. In a little bit, you can see that for head, the head, I created a custom normal. But in here, I just decided to look at how I just decided to see how the shadows look like. The one deviation I have between the two references I had was that I decided to go for a little drawing I did of Lucina, wherein instead of going for an anime aesthetic for her face, I go for a style that's that's kind of inspired by Tintin, in a sense, by Tintin and the Big Nate comics. I know, right? Like you're going for an anime aesthetic, but you're going for a Western newspaper comic style. I don't know, guys. This is how I roll. So for the eyes, I once thought of making her eyes blue, but decided to skip that entirely and make her her eyes just plain black. Just like my VTuber model, I guess. Now I forgot to mention that I was supposed to record the final moments of my creation process, but while doing the recording, my computer accidentally crashed, and I wasn't able to to show you guys how I textured the final how I textured the final bits of the sculpt. So I just kind of left. so I just kind of left that for you guys to wonder how I textured. That's not to say I'm not showing. I'm not gonna show you guys how I textured some of the clothes here. It's just that I just didn't record some parts of the final parts of my recreation process. Now here you can see that I'm sort of testing out how the rig would look like if I bent some of the bones. Did I tell you guys that I created a custom normal for the head? The head, I created a custom normal for the head just so I can make the shadows of the head much more smoother. Though I didn't do the same thing for the rest of the mesh because I think it would take a long time. Now here I created a separate bone just for the belt because I realized that when I apply automatic weights to it, the belt looks kind of weird, kind of off. So I created a bone just so the belt can stay put as other bones move in synergy. I'm saying. But overall, I was pretty happy with how this rig turned out. It didn't deform as much compared to some other sculpts I did in the past. And when I say deform, I mean like deform parts that I don't want to deform. Like I realized that for some of my past humanoid renders, the shoulder would sometimes bend in an awkward manner. So I was glad that the shoulders of Lucina bended in a way that looks good in my opinion. Now here I rigged the hair. Oh my god, rigging the hair was so tedious. Because every time I apply automatic weights to it, the weight maps of each brake screw didn't look the way I wanted to. So you can see that I'm kind of struggling to salvage Lucina's hair through automatic weighting. But in the end, I decided to just manually do the rigging one by one. I actually had to omit using some bones in this rig, in the hair rig, just so it's easy for me to animate the flowing hair in the final render. Yeah, every time as you can see the automatic weights is affecting the top of her head too much, so I had to erase that from weight mode. And even in the final render, I think I've created some. There was some hair that didn't look right, so I just decided to leave that as is. Anyways, the other hair was already blocking the other hair. And here, from a secondary, you can see that you can kind of see that I've made the top of her head a separate material, so it merges with so it didn't look like the Lucina had some bald spots to her to her head. And here I'm doing more weight painting, as you can see, and I think we're approaching the end of this behind the scenes. Look at that! Look at that! It's a little cute Lucina. Though I think Lucina was more of a badass in the Fire Emblem games. Now this is when I finally decided to manually rig this with a manual weight painting. I usually prefer if Blender does things for me, but in this case, doing stuff manually was the best option. And here I fix the rig one more time. I get the ice to get rigged, and in a corrupted scene in a corrupted recording, I also added a grease pencil to the face, just to add the finishing touches to the mouth and the nose, and rig that up as well. And here Blender crashed for a second there, but here I added if I got into texturing Lucina. Not really a good texturer, but my basic texturing skills kind of works with the simplicity of my Lucina model. So yeah, I make the fallout from my brush constant. So this a little fades to each of my strokes. And here I use a custom material for making my meshes. I make the shadows slightly. I slightly change the image, the textures for the shadows. Change up the hue a bit and the value, and yeah, guys, that's how I create the Lucina model. If you guys like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. This is the first time I commentated, as you can see. So if you think this is worth your time, be sure to leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.